I'm Kady. I'm the founder and CEO of KADYLUXE, and that is a Kickstarter video that my partner Audrey and I did back in April. She's unfortunately not able to be here tonight because she just had a baby boy on Friday, so she's here in spirit. But so yeah, I am honored to be here. There's such an awesome group of like-minded individuals in this room, and I flew in from Denver today. And the good news is I actually spent all day yesterday getting all of our orders for our Kickstarter rewards out. So it was a great day, and great to see it through fruition. So it was awesome. So a little about KADYLUXE. We're basically a dance-inspired activewear line. I like to say the next generation of activewear because we're trying to do something a little bit different, cater to a new group. And that's what I'm going to talk about today is discovering your niche, especially in fashion. Fashion's such a saturated market, so it's really important to kind of hone in, narrow in, and focus. And I feel very humbled to be talking about this topic in particular because I have really been challenged with focusing in my life. I've obviously, as you probably have seen on that video, dabbled in several things. I was a dancer for many years, and at one point I thought I was going to be an IndyCar racer, the next Danica Patrick. Probably convinced I was going to be a publicist at one point, maybe an actress at another. So focus has never been my forte. So maybe that's why I can speak on it tonight, because I've had to work so hard at it. But to talk about niche for me, I try to think, gosh, how did I even find my niche in fashion? How did I even come here? And I think it boils down to three ingredients that I'm going to speak on tonight. But I wanted to define niche in the sense of it's an area where you specialize, it's a gap in the market, and really it's also finding your own personal niche in life. Certainly didn't expect to be here today and to be in fashion, but it's kind of interesting to think back when I was a kid. I was reading a book actually the other day, and it's like, how do you know what you want to do in life? And think back to when you were a kid and what you were doing, like what did you draw on your paper and what were you gravitating? And I was thinking, I used to always want to gravitate to the dress up, little like treasure box. And I love to dress up and I love fashion and I love dance. And so it's kind of beautiful that I ended up creating this company. So maybe it was meant to be. So the three things are vision, focus, and passion. Passion, of course, being my favorite of the three. So first I want to talk a little bit about tailored vision, the pains and wants. Someone taught me this, and it's really helped kind of focus in and help me with my vision with KADYLUXE, because it felt a little scattered, because people would always ask me, what exactly are you guys doing? Are you creating knee pads, or are you creating fashion? What's going on? So this has really helped me kind of tailor my vision. And it was, what is the pain in my industry, in my dance market, or what is the want? And so for KADYLUXE, the pain was solving the knee pad problem that actually so many dancers and cheerleaders have had for so many years, and it really has just been an overlooked market. People don't really treat dancers like pro athletes, and even as a pro, which I kind of talked about in my Kickstarter video, coach would be like, all right, girls, bring those knee pads. We're doing a floor routine tomorrow. And we'd all kind of look around and what are we going to run to Walmart and pick up a volleyball pad? I mean, there's nothing out there for us. So the girls that did that, wearing the dorky pads, they were smiling at the end of practice, and the rest of us were just thinking, damn, we should have got those pads. So that's when I kind of knew I was onto something. And learning that, wow, this is really a need. And over time, like in the last year of doing this company, I've had so many emails of girls and moms being like, oh, I can't believe no one hasn't done this because this has been such a problem and there's nothing for my daughter. And so it's really given me a lot of hope that I'm onto the right thing. I found the right niche. So also with us, it was like, what is the want? What is the desire in the dance market? And that for me was this like next generation of dancewear. I felt like when I was dancing in LA that all these girls were bringing really neat clothing from American Apparel, but then they were always cutting it up and doing fun things, and no one was really catering a brand where you could go to the store and buy what they would come to class in. And, trying to think outside the box of leotards and tights and not really be dancewear, but not be activewear, not be yoga, not be granola. I'm from Colorado, so I had to put that in there. Try to be a little bit different, a little bit edgier, a little more fashion forward. So that was kind of the want that I think we at KADYLUXE are really trying to fill. So the want and the pain. And I feel that if you do both those things, then the customer really feels that, yes, you get me, you get me, and that brings value. And you've helped me in some way. And the other piece of vision, too, is to remember that your vision, you can have this great product and be so excited about it, but you don't want to have a niche product either. So for instance, with the pads, we started thinking, wow, yeah, we definitely want this to go with dancers and cheerleaders, but think of all the athletes outside of this that could use this, volleyball players in particular. And that's kind of where we started thinking, wow, maybe we could license this technology in the future. So just something to think about when you're doing your vision. Another thing, my second ingredient, I think that's helped me, is focus, my hardest one. Narrowing in and really deciding on what exactly you need to focus on and what group you're focusing on. Because when you start creating something, people are like, oh my gosh, that'd be so great over here. You should go here, take this here. And it's really, really hard as a founder with a vision to really just stay the course. So a good example of this, or I was trying to think about it, but the logo for my company actually is a queen chess piece. You can kind of see here the evolution of the queen that the designer did. And the reason why I chose the queen in the first place was I loved what she represented. She represents femininity, she represents power. She is, after all, the only piece on the board that you can move in any direction. So she represents freedom of movement, which is where we grew the tag "Make Your Move" with the double entendre of dance and moving it on the board. So I just loved all those little intricate meanings all threaded together for the line. But the interesting thing is that I originally got the idea because a very important person in my life once told me I was a queen chess piece. And I didn't understand at the time. But he said, Kady, you can do so many things. You want to be here, you want to be there, but you're so vulnerable like the queen chess piece. You can get stolen so quickly. You need to, what do you want? Like shaking me. And then just figuring out what I want. And I thought, oh, wow, I got to do this. Someday I got to make this queen chess piece work. So that's where it came into play in the brand. So I thought about it, for everybody out in the audience, what kind of queen do you want to be? It's kind of cheesy, but do you want to be the one that can move in any direction but doesn't get stolen? Or do you want to be the one that's, lost her focus and is really vulnerable? So something to think about. So also with focus is your targeted market segments. If you really target on someone, you focus on someone, they're super loyal, they tend to be super enthusiastic. And we've seen this in real life in my community in Denver, just reaching out to the dancers and reaching out to these girls and really targeting them. They have been the best marketing tools for us. They are out pounding the pavement every day, just, oh my gosh, do you know about KADYLUXE? We love it. And it's just been great. And also, if you really have a narrow focus, it's very clear what you're selling. Because like I had said, people were a little confused at first, and it's taken time for us, and we still work on it. What exactly are you girls doing? Oh, are you yoga? What are you doing? So having a clear focus, targeting the right group, kind of like the branding story that he was talking about, and keeping the message consistent so everybody knows what you're doing. And then there's always this fear of what, is dance even a big enough market? How do you even make money there? Dancers don't even have any money. So this fear of being too narrow with your target, and I think, why? Narrow's good, baby steps, because if we capture this little market, then it's just only gonna grow into a bigger niche market. And Lululemon's a great example. I mean, they went after yoga, and now, gosh, people don't even have to be active and they wear Lululemon pants. So the last piece of the ingredients, just to keep it short and sweet, but definitely my favorite is passion. I am a Pisces, so I believe in passion. And I think being a passionate expert in your field adds so much value to your brand and credibility. And I call it, so one of the tags that we have is for a dancer, by a dancer. We also have made for women, by women. All of our factories are women ran, and I think that's really a strong message. After all, we're creating stretch pants made out of the women's figure, and if we weren't women, how are we supposed to understand how to improve that fit? And that's kind of where the best way to describe it, I think, is in the medical field. If you think, would you go to a knee specialist for acne? Doubtful, right? Or if you're shopping, would you buy dancewear from a golfer? Kind of weird. So for finding your niche in your market, I think about your passions and think about what you're an expert at. And if you really think about what are your pains, what are your needs, what are your wants, then maybe you might find your next big great idea. And being an expert also is about credibility, and finding credibility in a brand. All that does is just build loyal customers and just adds more value. And I love this quote from the famous George Balanchine. I had to pick him. But I don't want people who want to dance. I want people who have to dance. And I think that grabs just the essence of passion. I mean, if passion goes so, you can talk about it. I could talk about it all night. But if you don't love what you're doing, if you don't love what you're creating, and I always say, if I can't wear it, if I can't sweat in it, if I can't walk out the door in it, then I won't let it out the door. And ultimately, I'm doing this because I love it, and I love what I'm creating, and I love all my clothes. So I hope everyone else does too. And just to leave you on a note, I love this quote because I think it kind of ties everything together. It says, "Dominate in your domain. You can do it." So focus on your passions and your niche market, especially in any industry. And I swear it will come around times 20. So thank you all so much for having me. I'm so humbled to be here. So it's a great night.